Hello everyone, George here, Catholic Positive Energy. Nice to see everybody. Obviously, last week I showed up with the Chinese waterfall once again, but for a long time, for a couple of broadcasts, it kind of felt different and lonely not having this beautiful waterfall here, because I was over there in front of the Christmas tree, or I was in Las Vegas in my hotel room, and obviously I wasn't able to bring this Chinese waterfall. But it's nice to be right here back in our normal setting. And definitely nice to have this cool, relaxing environment once again. That's what I'm all about. Like I say, Mr. Rogers has his cardigan sweaters. My friend Holly has her Tibetan singing bowl. I have the Chinese waterfall. So nice to have a trademark and be remembered for something and not copying other people. So anyways, I have a topic for you guys, and I actually was able to do some research and print something out beforehand. It's been a while since I've been able to do this. I'm so busy with grad school and a lot of other things going on in my life, but I was able to spend the time to actually, share this with all of you. So I got the name of this broadcast. It's also the name of this article I found. 6 Ways to Find Inner Happiness and Why It Matters So Much. Now, I got this from the Power of Positivity Facebook page. They have a lot of great things up there, some wonderful things. So I'll be reading this entire article to you, and for those of you who may not be watching this live right now at the moment, I will also include this in the comments on the Facebook broadcast, and also I'll put it in the in the notes in the YouTube link for the YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube, because I want to make this available to all of you. I see I have a friend watching right now on the Facebook page. Okay, I'm going to have a hard time saying your name, so please forgive me if I don't get it right. Pasquale Venditti. I hope I said your name right. Nice to see you here watching me live. Whenever I see somebody's watching me live on the Facebook page, I always acknowledge them, and I always, obviously, am very happy that their presence is here watching me right now live. So yeah, I always do that. I'll never ignore anybody, Now, if I see like thousands of people watching me at once, I won't be able to name every single one of you. That will be the only time I don't do shout outs. But if I see enough here where there's, if I see fewer names than I have fingers, I will acknowledge every single one. If I see less than 10. Otherwise, I'll just do one big giant shout out and say hello to everybody. So anyways, okay. Now the article, 6 Ways to Find Inner Happiness and Why It Matters So Much. Hope you don't mind hearing me talk for an extended period of time. Here we go. Since you were a small child, you've probably heard that happiness comes from external sources. You should look for happiness in other people or in the achievements you have. Now, for me, and I don't know if a lot of you have this same story, and you're welcome to tell me your story. I don't mind. I love hearing other people's stories. I grew up around a lot of negative energy. I did. I was overwhelmed by it. So much negativity, so much negative energy, anger and sadness. And for a long time, even when I was a kid, I imitated that because that's all I knew. People who knew me when I was a little kid would say that I was very unhappy and not fun to be around, and they were right. I didn't realize this at the time, but if you are, let's say you're a very young person, and you grow up around some very negative people, very unhappy, unpleasant people who are not fun to be around, who drag you down and criticize you and tear you down and find fault with everything you do, that's not good. Okay? That's bad parenting. I'm sorry I have to put it that way, but it is. If you have experienced that, like I have, then you grew up around poison. You did. Now, if a young kid sees that all the time and then they start imitating it, they're going to behave in a way where nobody wants to be around them and nobody likes them. They're not going to have a whole lot of friends. They're not going to be a popular person. They're definitely not going to be chosen to be a class president or, some high prominent figure as a young person. That's what I'm saying. So when I say you should look for happiness in other people or in the achievements you have, if you don't have people in your life who are dignifying you and praising you for the achievements you've made, or just for the fact that you are a good person and you do have a beautiful smile and you do have some good qualities and you care about others, well, you should be praised for that too. The people who are a part of your life need to cherish you and be happy that you are a part of their life, even if you're not making millions of accomplishments. Amen? Yeah. Continuing on. So, as you grow up, you keep building on this idea. You start believing more and more that you need to improve your inner happiness. You never think that you can create your own happiness. See, a lot of people, like I say, kids, teenagers, they don't always know how to create their own happiness. Even some adults don't know how to do that. I've learned the hard way to do that. But like I say, I met my very dear friend, author Holly. I've mentioned her many times, and I share her broadcasts in Catholic Positive Energy in the Facebook group all the time. She has changed my life forever for the better. I see I have another friend watching. Karen, nice to see you here. Great, I hope you get to watch to the end. Continuing on. People spend so much of their time searching for happiness from external sources. In other words, from other people, or whether that be movies, TV, watching things on their phone, or anywhere they can go to find happiness that doesn't involve them just being alone. Yes, hi Karen. Thank you for the hi. Great to see you here. Often, they don't even find it. That's because this feeling is fleeting if you wildly chase it around. The only way to reach an actual state of fulfillment is to find your inner happiness. Let me finish before I go off into another direction here. Hang on. But no one teaches you how to do that. Like I just said. And it can be tough to embark on a self-love journey without guidance. If you want to be happy and find inner peace, here is how to do it. What is inner happiness and why does it matter? Now let me stop there for a moment. I have something very important thoughts on my mind right now, and I need to share them with you right now before I forget. I'll try not to talk too much so I can finish this article. But I don't have very many broadcasts where I talk for a long time, so this will be a long one, but it'll be a good one. So don't worry, I won't bore you. Now, for any of you who may have experienced a lot of unhappiness in your life when you didn't want to experience it, obviously, if any of you, or maybe you're still there right now, if any of you are very, very unhappy right now with your lives and you have people in your life who keep making you feel that way, well, obviously, it would be better if you didn't have these people as a part of your life. If it's that bad, if they're not going to change and they're not going to make you feel better about you or make you feel loved, make you feel cared, make you feel important and special, then those are not people you want to be a part of your life. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that you should cut everybody out of your life. I'm not saying that. If the person or people is a toxic individual, and I'm sure you all know what that is, a toxic individual, then the toxic individual should not be a part of your life. If it's someone who just, maybe they say things to you and they're not always the right things, ask them to please stop and please treat you differently, and hopefully if they do treat you differently, then okay, you don't need to cut them out. Now, as far as finding your inner happiness, a self-love journey. What do I mean by that? Okay, now, if you're someone who always depends on other people to make you happy, then that is contradictory to this, what I'm saying. Self-love journey, inner happiness. If you're going to embark on a self-love journey and find inner happiness, and I'm still on one of those myself, don't get me wrong, I'm not the foremost expert, but I do know what this is, because I'm still living it right now. You cannot be someone who constantly depends on other people to make you happy. Now, okay, somebody just put a comment on the Facebook page. Loved praying the rosary last week. Lost my good friend on January 4th. He in God's care praying together. I think you meant to say great. Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad that me praying the rosary helped you, Pasquale Venditti. Sorry to hear about your friend. I do care and I am praying. Anyways, so, you see, when I was younger, I like to use my life experiences when I talk about these things. When I see an article and I'm reading one, I know what I'm talking about. Now, when I was younger, for so many years, I depended on other people to make me happy. I was always wanting to have friends. And I felt like even if I stayed in my house and played video games or, spent time, doing things by myself, I wasn't going to be happy. I depended very much on other people to make me happy. And you want to know what I've learned? There is a difference between having a friend, a good, true friend who will always be there for you. There's a difference between having one of those and having a friend who's only your friend until something bad happens. You definitely want to have friends who are always there for you, who will always be there for you. Unconditional love. I know I've posted this on the Facebook page before a long time ago. A whatever friend. Someone who will stay with you through thick and thin, through the good times and the bad times. That's definitely a friend you want to have. Where you can have deep, meaningful conversations, and even if you tell them your problems, they'll still talk to you. They'll still be here for you and with you. Oh yeah, those are great to have. It's hard to find one of those. I've had a lot of friends where it's like the moment we get into a little argument, or maybe one of us starts talking to the other one about our problems, it's like they don't want to talk to us anymore. Well, I don't want to hear about your problems. I only want to hear the good news. I only want to be here to have fun with you. And if I'm listening to your problems, I'm not having as much fun. I don't think we should be friends anymore. That's not a friend, okay? That is not a friend. Now, obviously, hang on. Now, obviously, if you barely know each other, it's not a good idea to start talking about problems right away. I've learned that the hard way. Wait until you've gotten to know each other a little while and show this friend that you are a very happy, positive person. Because people want to be friends with people who are happy, positive people. People want to be friends, a lot of you are here, with me in Catholic positive energy. I'm sure that if I was very unhappy in these broadcasts and if it was obvious through my body language, you probably wouldn't be following me. That's why I'm trying to be as happy and positive as possible. Even though sometimes I do have a rotten day, but today is not one of them. I'm serious. And it also says, I want to also quote this. I know I've seen this in the Gospel of Matthew and the Beatitudes from Matthew chapter 5 through 7. I don't know the exact verses right now, but I know I've read it. If you're someone who reads your Bible, please read Matthew 5 through 7, the Beatitudes. And I know there's a section in there that says you should not depend on other people to always make you happy. Very true. If you always depend on other people, friends, whoever, to make you happy, you're going to be let down a lot. Because human beings, for the most part, now I'm not saying they always do this, but there are a lot of human beings who let people down. People let their friends down all the time. Have you ever been let down by your friends? I mean, for those of you who are watching me live, please, if you have, please feel free to answer, if you like. Now, I've been let down by friends. I've been let down by family. I've been let down and disappointed by people who are close to me. I have. And there have been times when I have been told that I've let people down. I wasn't trying to. I didn't mean to, but it just happens. People let each other down all the time. And a lot of people don't always think about this. You see, when you've experienced that, and you've experienced being let down and heartbroken and disappointed by somebody who you thought would never do that to you, it hurts. And you probably think in your mind, was this person planning on doing this to me this whole time? Did they wake up this morning and say, I want to let them down? No. No. Hopefully they didn't. But usually that's not the case. It just happens. We don't always do things that please everybody around us. And even if we tried really hard, well, life would be very difficult if you always try to please people all the time. There will be a time when you displease somebody. There will be. I don't want to get into that too much right now, but I'm sure you understand. Moving on. Happiness is the emotional state that emerges when you are filled with joy, satisfaction, or fulfillment. Everyone feels happiness differently, but for everyone it stems from positive emotions. Happiness doesn't have to stem from something happening in the present. You can also feel happy when you reflect on past experiences. People might even say they're delighted when referring to how they generally think about life. Because happiness is such a broad term, psychologists refer to it as subjective well-being. It's much more important to focus on what makes an individual happy rather than strict guidelines around happiness. You don't have to be confined by others' definitions of happiness. Instead, try to understand your needs and what personally makes you happy. And I'm not encouraging anybody to be selfish here, but you need to know more about yourself and understand yourself. That's what I mean by that. Most people believe that the only way to be happy is if external factors make you satisfied. But that's not the case. You don't need to be passive and wait for life to make you happy. You can make yourself feel good. This can be done by finding your inner happiness. Inner happiness is often defined as a state of psychological calmness and self-fulfillment. Internally happy people are the ones who can regulate how they feel, regardless of what's going on around them. They can make themselves happy and don't have to wait around for the world to give them a good day. I want to say something right now, okay? Let me repeat this sentence. They can make themselves happy and don't have to wait around for the world to give them a good day. Please, don't ever wait around for the world to give you a good day. Because we live in a world where there is, where it's filled with, sin and selfishness and some very rude people out there who don't care about each other. Don't wait for the world to give you a good day. All of us, we all need to be happy and be as positive and be as calm and relaxed as possible. So even when we do have a rough day, even when we do meet someone who treats us very badly, we're still at peace, we're still positive, we're still having a good day. Even, if you let some rude person out there in the world, in whatever situation you're in, maybe you were driving your car and they honked their horn because you didn't drive fast enough or you didn't do what they wanted, and you weren't doing anything wrong, but you let that really get to you. You shouldn't let that get to you. You should let it go. Because this was a situation that you had no control over. And there's people around us all the time who are always doing things like they're in a hurry or they're being rude and selfish and inconsiderate. And that's their problem. You only had to deal with them for a couple of seconds at that point. They have to deal with themselves the whole day. You're a positive person. You're a positive thinker. You're calm and relaxed. At least I hope you are. A lot of you have been following me for a while, so you know what I'm talking about. So even when you meet someone who's mean to you, you need to still be like this. Happy and positive, and not let it get to you and not let it stay with you. Because these kinds of people have to deal with themselves the whole day, and you don't. And just as long as you don't let their negative energy impact you, you'll be all right. So, okay. When you find your inner happiness, you will achieve an emotional balance. It's essential to learn to rely on yourself in life. As you get older, you will go through many changes and face many hurdles. You won't always have the best job won't always be surrounded by people, and your life won't always be great. If you always lean on other people, you will never have any certainty or control in your life. Here's a beautiful quote here in the middle of the page. Being happy doesn't mean everything's perfect. It means you've decided to look beyond the imperfections. That's exactly what I was just saying. If you look beyond the imperfections and don't let these terrible, negative, tragic things affect you, you'll still be happy. Being happy doesn't mean, okay, I'm only going to be happy as long as I'm having a good day and as long as nobody cuts me off on the freeway and as long as nobody's mean to me when they're walking by me in the grocery store, as long as nobody's mean to me at my job, I'm having a good day. But as soon as somebody's mean to me, I'm not having a good day anymore. No, don't think that way. Please, don't think that way. That is not the right way to think. Like I said, I don't want anyone here to ever be let down and feel disappointment. These are a lot of things that make people disappointed. Please, don't ever look at life like that. You need to be happy regardless of what's happening around you. Okay? Because, I'll be honest with you, pretty much most of the things that happen to us in our lives are things we had no control over. Things that we had absolutely no control over. I mean, here, I'll bring something up. This is a difficult thing, but I'll bring this up because I find it to be helpful. I mean, you know, it's my page. I feel like I can talk about this, but I won't go into... I'll just leave it short and sweet. Now, I've said this before. I have two jobs. One of my jobs is I'm an armed security guard. And a couple of weeks ago, I was at work. See, I work in an outdoor shopping center, and I run into a lot of homeless people and unpleasant people who are not having the best mindset. I'll just say that. And I recently ran into an individual who was arguing with their ex-girlfriend. And then I told them to leave, and then they started talking to me in a very rude manner, and they eventually ended up pulling a knife on me. Now, I'm an armed security guard. I was ready to deal with that. This person eventually walked away. And, I called the police, and they're in jail right now. So, but I didn't let it ruin my life or traumatize me for life or scar me for life. I've been through enough bad experiences already before this one. So, I'm not going to let it ruin my life or scar me for life. When you have a bad experience, something you had no control over, like me with that person who pulled a knife on me, okay, this is the best way to handle bad experiences. Just think about what happened, okay? Now, when you go to bed and it's the next day already, it's a new day, okay? This is now yesterday. What happened? That bad thing happened yesterday. It's in the past now. You need to, and I know this can be easier said than done, you need to move on. You need to not think about this thing that happened in the past anymore. It's not happening anymore. It's done. It's in the past. It's over. You need to focus on positive energy. Think of those words. Let those two words be two of the most important words in your life. Positive energy. Or even, if you like, Catholic positive energy. You could do that too. Whether that be the 3 or the 2 words, doesn't matter. Let them be important words in your life. Now, this bad thing that's not happening anymore, that happened in the past, don't revisit it. Because if you let things that happened in the past still continue to hurt you and bother you, and I recently learned this, you know what you're doing? If you're somebody who is still angry and hurt over something that happened in your past, and it happened years ago, that thing is not hurting you anymore. You are hurting yourself. Because this past event is not happening anymore now in the present. It's over. It's done. It's in the past. But it still hurts you. Why is it hurting you? Because you're hurting yourself. Now, if somebody is a part of your life and they're continuing to hurt you, okay, that person is hurting you. You're not hurting yourself. But if you're hurt over something that happened a long time ago and these people are no longer a part of your life anymore, then you are hurting yourself, and that is not healthy. I've noticed it's best to talk to a spiritual director about things like that. That's what got me through this. Don't hurt yourself. Don't let things in the past stay with you forever. It's not healthy. So, okay. My garage is opening right now. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I just had to walk away for just a moment. Everything's fine. I just heard the garage open, so yeah, yeah, my dad just came home, so I don't like interruptions during the broadcast. So here, I'll stand in front of the camera and I'll just obviously talk with you guys. So, anyways, see, these are important things, and make sure that, things that have happened in your past are not hurting you anymore. Never take things with you. It's not healthy. Trust me, it took me years to learn that. So, yeah, sorry, forgive me here. I used to people walking by while I'm doing the broadcast. I don't want to stop right now. Anyways.
I can't get by there.
Okay. So, moving on now. Yeah. Once again, I apologize for that. 6 ways to find inner happiness. And I'll just try to go through them rather quickly. I was hoping to read every word of this, but this will probably be a 2-hour broadcast, and I don't want it to be. I'm sure you don't. Number 1, meditate to find your inner happiness. 2, embrace who you are. 3, practice gratitude to increase inner happiness. 4, spend time in nature. 5, take responsibility for your actions. And 6, having a purpose builds inner happiness. Now, meditation. Meditate to find your inner happiness. Now, some of you probably don't meditate, but having a prayer life is, that's basically the same thing. If you pray in silence and you have your eyes closed, and you're quiet and completely quiet, there's no music, no TV, no radio going on, nobody talking to you. That's important, because a lot of you have very busy, stressful lives, and it's very important that you have a prayer life and you have a relaxing time in your day normally, and I don't mean when you're working out or whatever, but when you're quiet and you're at peace. You let all of the negative energy that you experience throughout the day just go and leave you. That's important. Now, when I say to embrace who you are, you need to be proud of who you are. You need to be happy to be who you are. And if you're not happy with who you are, that is a big problem. That's a recipe for unhappiness and negative energy right there. You need to be happy with who you are. It's important. Practice gratitude to increase inner happiness. Now, I'm going to borrow a reference from my dear friend Holly. She, on her website, and I'll mention this, joyfulnavigations.com, Holly has written some very wonderful little booklets called gratitude journals, and she has something she's grateful for every single day. Now, how many of you are grateful for something every single day? Grateful to be alive, grateful for whatever it is God has done for you or what other people have done for you. Are you somebody who's grateful every day? If you are, I am very proud of you. I'm trying to get to that point myself. Spend time in nature. Now, that's something I don't always get to do because I live in a city, and there isn't. I'm not near the wilderness. Although there is a very big part of me now that wants to spend time in nature. I want to. I've never even been camping, and I'd like to go. Hopefully, before I become older. Spending time in nature is good because if you're somebody who lives in a city where there's a lot of traffic, a lot of noise, and not enough quiet and peaceful time, not enough quiet and peaceful nature, that's a problem. If you spend time in nature, if you spend some quiet, peaceful, relaxing time, like I said about the first point, meditating, you can experience inner happiness. But if you're surrounded by noise and traffic and a busy city all the time, it's very hard to experience that. Number 5, take responsibility for your actions. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, that should be self-explanatory, but I don't mind explaining it because I love wasting your time. No, I'm kidding. Often, people are unhappy because they are afraid to acknowledge how their actions affect them and others. They are scared to make mistakes. When they make them, they will deny everything. The error is still there, but now there's no one to solve it. So basically acknowledging your mistakes and being aware of what you do and how it affects you and others. Now, if you're somebody who, let's say somebody sees you doing something that you probably shouldn't be doing, and somebody's just trying to help you, like they say, I don't think you should be smoking. Well, I'm an adult, I can do as I please. Well, I mean, they're just trying to care about you. They're just, this person is just trying to show how much they care about you. Try not to take everything the wrong way. Or, when you make those jokes, it always tends to rub me the wrong way. Well, you take it the wrong way. Stop feeling that way, and then you won't be offended, okay? Don't be that person. Don't be the person who thinks that they're always right and they're never wrong. Don't be that person, please. That's what this means. And lastly, once again, number 6, having a purpose builds inner happiness. Instead of running aimlessly through life, try to find a purpose, a goal to strive towards. Don't leave your happiness at the mercy of external factors. Take control over it and give your life a sense of direction. You need to have a purpose. Now, let's say you're retired. You don't need to work anymore. Okay? Now, usually people, and listen, I am not bad-mouthing anybody, okay? So please don't accuse me of bad-mouthing older people or retired people. I am not. Let's say you're retired and you feel like you have nothing to do. Your life has no purpose. Well, no. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody can find a purpose, whether you're working or not. Okay? Now, let's say you don't need to work anymore. You can find another thing that gives your life purpose. Plenty of things. You can help other people. You can develop new hobbies. You can spend a lot of time. You can attend daily mass at church. You can be more involved at church if you're a church goer. Or you can help with charities like Habitat for Humanity. I have an uncle who helps with that. It's a very wonderful thing, building houses, for people who are poor so they can have houses. Or just listening to people around you. Listen to people talk about their story, their problems. Younger people who may not have an ear to listen to. You know what? I've been learning a lot. We all need listening ears. We really do. And I enjoy listening to people tell me their problems as long as I have the time to listen. I enjoy helping people as best as I can. I'm not aspiring to be a counselor or anything. A small part of me wouldn't mind being one. And I once had a counselor tell me they think I'd make a good one because I have some of the personality traits that fit being a counselor of some sort. If that's what God wants, maybe I'll do it, but I don't feel that's what God wants of me. So, these are important things. So one more time, I'll run through these. 6 ways to find inner happiness. Number 1, meditate to find your inner happiness. 2, embrace who you are. 3, practice gratitude to increase inner happiness. 4, spend time in nature. 5, take responsibility for your actions. And 6, having a purpose builds inner happiness. So I hope this helps. I'll definitely put this article with this video on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. So I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. I know it was a little long. And we'll have a prayer broadcast next week for everybody here. So please feel free to send me your prayer intentions if you like. Thank you for being here, for those of you who joined me here today. And I'll be glad to report now. I should have said this at the beginning, but I was so excited about this topic. Now, Catholic Positive Energy, we've been around now for 2 years. I started this in January 16th, 2020. I can't believe it's been 2 years. It feels like it's only been 1. So, we've been around for over 2 years, and now we have more than 400 members in our Facebook group and 24 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I definitely want to see the YouTube channel continue to grow. So for those of you who are here, even if you may not have a YouTube channel, please, I hope you can make one, and just so you could subscribe to me here, and that would be great. But I'm glad that we've seen a lot of growth, and we definitely have a huge following in several different countries, especially in the Philippines. A lot of people from the Philippines love to join Catholic Positive Energy. So I thank every single one of you, wherever it is you live. Thank you for being here. I wish I knew how to say thank you in like 10 different languages so I could thank each and every one of you according to your native language, but we'd be here a while. So, thank you. And I certainly hope I'm making a positive difference in your lives. And please, I'm open to hearing how you feel about the group. If there's anything you want to tell me, feel free to message me through the Facebook page or through the YouTube channel and let me know what you think and how you feel here. So thank you. God bless. And please remember, dignification is better than criticism.